In today's episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, I sit down with Bernie and Brendan to talk all about their new game, Omicron Protocol. I thought it looked cool before we talked. After we talked, I had to have this game. Give it a listen and see if they convince you to change your mind as well. Plus, keep on listening so you can find out about the giveaway that I'm launching with them today. Then we'll see what's on Kickstarter. But first, a message about our sponsors. This episode is proudly powered by one of our Kickstarter backers, Redwell Games, and their latest game, Six Gun Showdown, the fastest playing, tension-filled game of Wild West shootouts for ages 9 years and older. That's on Kickstarter until Friday the 5th of July. More to come within our Kickstarter Corner portion of the show. This episode is powered by Gosh Darn Bubbles from Sandwich Bag Games, which is simple to learn and play, fast and fun. So much fun, in fact, that Michael Wright, who is an unfiltered gamer, went out and got a bubble machine. So run on over and check out their Kickstarter, which will have a link in the show notes, or just head on over to sandwichbaggames.com, look for an interview with them, and if you're listening after that, go back and listen. Plus, be on the lookout for a giveaway over at thegiveawaygeek.com. And if you want some super fast, simple fun, make sure you back Gosh Darn Bubbles on Kickstarter before Thursday, the 20th of June. I love it when a good game hits the floor running on Kickstarter. Such is the case with this game. This episode is proudly powered by Bard Games and Fickle, a fairy board game featuring the art of Amy Brown. Fickle is a quick set collection game with unique scoring and press your luck mechanics, customizable gameplay, and gorgeous art. You have 5 rounds to win the ritual of ascendancy with your fellow players by manipulating their fairy cards. Choose a fairy family to gain its power and add it to your scoring alliance. The winner must gather a single fairy from each family or shoot the moon to win with a single faction. It sounds like an awesome game, and the art as well is spectacular. Want to know more? Well, go give my interview with the designer a quick listen. In my interview entitled, Are You Fickle? You Might Be a Fairy. Then after that, make sure you go and enter their giveaway we're doing with them over at thegiveawaygeek.com, in which one winner will receive Sherlock Holmes, The Vanishing Man, Pocket General World War II, and a playmat featuring Fickle art. The prize is valued at approximately 100 USD. Most importantly though, make sure you check out their Kickstarter for Fickle that reached its funding goal in only 12 hours, and then back it before Tuesday the 18th of June.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
February 1st, 2050. 4 weeks ago, my home, San Lazaro, was a thriving metropolis. Now, San Lazaro is in complete turmoil. If you're out there, please, help us.
Omicron Protocol is an intra-apocalyptic arena combat miniatures game. Rival factions have formed in an effort to fight for resources and survive. Don't wait. Back this Kickstarter now to join the fight.
Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me either, but this is the story of Omicron Protocol, and tonight we're lucky enough to have on the creators and masterminds behind this game. Is that right, Brendan and Bernie? Is that how you fall in line with Omicron Protocol?
Pretty much.
Yep, this is Bernie here.
Brendan, hi.
Howdy.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem at all. Now, before we jump into your game, let's rewind a little bit if we could. How did you guys get into playing tabletop board games?
Let's see here. Well, I guess I'll go first. This is Brendan, and I kind of got into board games through my stepdad. He designed one back in the 80s, so I kind of grew up playing this game, Prospecting. Look it up, 1982. Um, so yeah, kind of grew up with that, and then I didn't really come back to it until my early to mid 30s. I started kind of wanting to play games, and ended up picking up the X-wing miniatures game accidentally. I thought it was a board game. I didn't know what I was getting into. Um, yeah, and the rest is history. I I remember saying I'll never paint miniatures, blah blah, and then here I am years later. Painting's one of my favorite things to do in my free time, and I love playing minis games.
Awesome. And so you said the game your stepdad made was, what did you say, Prospector or something?
It's called Prospecting. Yeah, it's all about looking for gold in the Old West.
Is it something that's on market that somebody can buy it, or I guess they can find it on eBay, or?
You'd have to find it on eBay. Once in a while, a copy will surface, but it's really hard to find.
And then just miniature games nowadays?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we still play some Arkham Horror card game to unwind. I don't know why, because it's kind of torturously hard. And we have Bernie has game days over at his place, so we'll play some board games and stuff too. But mostly minis is what keeps me going.
Awesome. And what games are you playing these days, Brendan?
When we do play board games, it's usually something kind of chill, like Azul, which is something my wife even will play. I play King Domino sometimes. I just got to play Grim Forest, which is a fantastic game.
Awesome. I played all of those. I didn't really care for Azul. I know it was pretty hot or whatnot, but I didn't care for that one, unfortunately.
Not for everybody.
Yeah, most definitely. And what about yourself, Bernie? How did you get into tabletop board gaming?
I've been gaming mostly PC and computer video gaming since I was a kid. Board gaming, I mean, I played all the old ones like, the Chutes and Ladders and Life and all the Sorry, all the way when I was a kid. But I think board games, yeah, I've just been playing as in the 2000s, but also miniature games kind of and around the same time. Got into Warhammer 40K from a friend. So kind of parallel. I play a lot more board games than Brendan, I think, but fewer miniature games. So yeah, anytime there's a good game, I play it. And then lately, obviously, mostly Omicron Protocol, but Guild Ball has been one that Brendan and I play a lot.
For sure.
And the board game days that I used to run one every other week when I wasn't working on this game. So I usually encourage people to bring new games, and I always want to try a new game out.
Well, there you go. Awesome. And are you painting the miniatures like him or not?
I'm his base coder, so I base code it with a color for him, and he makes it look really, really nice.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Awesome. And word on the street is you guys recently created a game that has miniatures in it. What can you tell us about Omicron Protocol?
Yeah, Omicron Protocol, we call it an intra-apocalyptic squad-based arena combat game. It's kind of a mouthful, but it's pretty much a small-scale skirmish miniature games played with a hex grid board instead of using rulers and stuff. And you just have 2 to 4 models on each side. Each game can be played in about an hour, and it kind of is reminiscent of those turn-based games like XCOM or Final Fantasy Tactics. In terms of strategy and positioning.
Okay, awesome. And it looks like there's a lot of cool different factions that you can be in the game. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And each faction has a different theme. They each have access to a special shared abilities. One that's kind of passive. So, for instance, the Peacemakers get to roll an extra die when they're making shooting attacks, because that's their theme is ranged combat. Survivalists get to make a super getaway movement. And there's some other factions that we won't reveal yet. We're still scraping the rough edges off of some of the mechanics. But yeah, definitely each faction is unique, and the characters are really unique within those factions too.
Awesome. And looking at your Kickstarter page, I don't know if this is one of the ones you're still working on, but I really like the animal faction.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the most popular ones so far. They're pretty much there. I mean, one of the special things about them is they have this innate hatred for these Sims, CYMS, the cybermimetic sociopaths, or you could call them the cyber zombies of our game. And they just are much better when they attack them, and they could use that to trigger a lot of special abilities as well as rampage over your opponents.
Awesome. And have you painted all of these ones, Brendan?
I've painted all the peacemakers and the survivalists, and I'm beginning to paint the elephant Jugger. But we haven't sculpted all of those models yet, so we're kind of working through that phase now. But I'm very much looking forward to it.
Awesome, most definitely. Yeah, they look cool just looking at the Kickstarter page and whatnot. And so you say skirmish game. Is that only 2 players, or just if you have all the factions, you can play up to how many players? 1 to 4. I guess you can play 1 to 4 players.
Yeah, generally you play one faction against another faction. You could have 1 or 2 players on each side, so it plays 2, 3, or 4. One of the things as we're developing this game and getting ready for the Kickstarter, we realized a lot of people in our community really wanted a solo mode. And generally, skirmish games such as like the Malifaux and Infinities and all that, they don't really have a solo mode because you're playing like chess against the opponent. But because our game actually does have this third-party cyber zombie Sims faction, you could think of it that way. It is conducive to a solo mode. So we pretty much announced that we will be working with the community to come up with a satisfying solo mode so that people can play the game, use the characters, use the abilities, while trying to do some missions and fight these Sims with their own faction.
Cool. And how's that coming along? Or are you still working on that?
Still working on that for sure. And it's something that we definitely want to work with people that are interested in helping us come up with that. So yeah, putting it out there to you, world. If you're interested in this solo mode, get in touch with us because we definitely want to share ideas and work with the community on that.
There you go, awesome. So per se, us 3 sat down to play. What's my turn gonna look like?
So if we sat down, let's just say you are playing by yourself as the peacemakers against Brendan, and I will play the survivalists. So we would sit down. Generally, a full game is 4 characters, so you would play all 4 characters yourself, and then Brendan and I would each decide how to play 2 of them. Each side has 8 action points to use across their whole faction. So you have pretty much 4 players to split that, and you can split it however you want, up to 4 per player. And we just alternate activating each character. So you activate your character 1, we do it. You do character 2, and so forth until each character has gone. So that's 8 activations. And when that's done, that's the end of a round. More Sims will spawn based on all the ruckus that both of us made. And then we usually play 3 to 5 rounds. Whoever has the most points based on the scenario objective that you're trying to achieve, based on kind of knocking each other out, or based on clearing the table of these Sims. Whoever has the highest total points wins.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. And so whoever has the highest points wins, you said? Or what if can I knock everybody out as well? Or that pretty much make my win as well?
So there's no permanent death in the game, so which means you can knock the same person out multiple times over multiple rounds and keep scoring on that. So that is definitely one tactic. So just by knocking everyone out doesn't mean you won, but you got yourself 4 points, which is a pretty good lead.
So that's pretty cool. And what's combat look like? Do I imagine each faction has their own abilities, like you said? I think, and they just roll the dice, and they roll the dice against me, or how's that look?
Yeah. So the combat works a little differently than a lot of general skirmish games, where a lot of times you roll the die and 3 hits equals 3 damage, or 3 hits equals you get killed. We have this thing. We don't have a card available, but if you go online and download our print and play, we have this thing called an action store. So the dice you roll, there's no opposing check. You just roll and try to hit a certain target number. It's all 6-sided dice. So some people have dexterity 5. That's really hard to hit. Dexterity 2, really easy to hit. Based on how many hits you have on the dice you roll, you use those number of hits like coins to buy abilities in the store. So you could buy damage for 1 or 2 hits. Everyone has a different cost for damage, and then everyone has a different set of abilities. Like you could control someone, push someone, move something, generate a big EMP explosion or something based on how many hits you got. So it's kind of a action economy using dice that hit your opponent.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So that's pretty cool.
One of the coolest parts about that is that you can do a really cool cinematic actions where you can imagine like firing, you're doing some damage, and you get to sidestep, so you can kind of strafe along and shoot.
While picking up something at the same time.
Yeah, so you can, if you have enough hits to really afford lots of different like tactical choices, you can really do some really cool activations.
And then you just try to get more points than other people, so that's awesome. Yeah, it looks like a really cool game. Now, we can delete this part if we need to or not, but something you're combating, or it seems you're combating with this Kickstarter, is being first-time creators and all. It's got a pretty hefty goal or whatnot, and unfortunately, there seems to be a lot of people that kind of shy away from that or don't necessarily like it. What are you doing with some of the things you're doing to combat that?
We're doing a few things. So one, I mean, with the present Kickstarter, we're kind of, we realize the situation for sure. So we're kind of taking this opportunity to get to know our community better and to really learn about what kind of mistakes we may have made and improve our ongoing Kickstarter now. And then one of the things that we're doing to address the high goal and the perceived high price point is just to add more value to the box, like our most recent social stretch goal, which is just to get more backers. But we're going to unlock 4 more Sims models. We have another one to unlock a new sculpt. So we're trying to add more value and get people to kind of promote our game as well and share it around. So that's something we're doing now. But in the event of a relaunch, we're also, we're working with some manufacturers and trying to kind of figure out where we can cut some costs and create a much lower goal. And so far that's going really well. We think we'll be able to really come back with something really awesome and cheaper.
And definitely wanted to thank a lot of the creators out there, like saw kind of where we are right now, and they're just like, hey, we've relaunched in the past. This is what we did. These are the manufacturers we actually found that were much cheaper than the ones before, and we had the same problem as you. So they're all like giving us advice and helping us along. So we're super grateful for having those people around, and that's one of the reasons why we still have the Kickstarter on, because a lot of them discover us and they reach out to help.
For sure.
Okay, awesome. Word on the street is you're also doing a giveaway with us over at thegiveawaygeek.com. What will you be giving away?
Oh, for sure. Definitely giving away one of our core boxes. It comes with the Peacemakers, Survivalists, both factions, 16, hopefully 20, maybe more Sims in there as we keep adding and unlocking stretch goals, as well as for those who do like the hobby aspect, we're going to give away kind of a metal version, the pewter version of each of the Peacemaker or the Survivalist factions. So for those people who like the heftier model weight and all that.
Okay, so is that different? So you said the core box, but then you also said metal. So is that something on top of what the Kickstarter has then, or?
Yeah, so they're a different pledge level, or you could just buy it as add-ons. For example, I think if Brendan and I were just backers, we probably would add on the metal figures because we both like the metal ones. I like it for the weight. Brendan likes it for the detail, for the painting. Or you could, if you just want to buy the metal models to paint, you could also do that as a pledge level. So it's separate or combined, however you want to do it.
Okay, awesome. And we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes, and if everything goes according, we'll also go ahead and throw on the bottom of the show notes the giveaway so they can just enter straight from there as well as going to the giveawaygeek.com. And just by checking out the Kickstarter, they'll give them added points to the giveaway or whatnot. So that's awesome. But yeah, so it looks, just scrolling to the page and everything, it looks like an awesome game. And I'm glad you guys are finding people to help you combat that. I'm hoping you don't have to relaunch, but just in case, that's good that you're thinking of that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. There's a lot of really supportive people in the community, and we really want to get this game out too, because we definitely have a lot of plans for just the story, the world, the future of the game, and kind of building that community.
Definitely.
In the event of a relaunch, do you have that plan that far out? Like somebody's listening later on after this Kickstarter has finished, per se, we don't get it funded. Hopefully we do. But after June 20th, do you have any plans for when you might relaunch?
We hesitate to commit to a date. I think that's one of the bigger mistakes that we actually made, was kind of really picking a picking May 20 and sticking to it, rain or shine. So we definitely want to make sure that we're ready. We anticipate fall, late summer, fall. But we don't want to say a date specifically yet, just because then we'll start feeling that pressure and making.
Yeah, you want to. Yeah, I don't want to rush it, so that's completely understandable.
We do have a lot of cool stuff that we want to do in the meantime. If like plans that we're going to do anyway, but it'll just make the relaunch that much cooler if we can get them done, between now and then. So.
Most definitely, and if you do end up having to relaunch, we'll make sure we have you back on the show if you'll come.
Awesome.
We'd love to.
So when it comes to Omicron Protocol, what makes your game pop is one my audience should go check out, and if they like what they see, back it today.
We think the third party, like controllable kind of third party common enemy, is really unique and really, really fun. It adds a ton of tactical depth, and just the unique characters and the way that their abilities are representative of their characters and personalities we think it's a really awesome experience, obviously, but yeah, we've gotten a lot of great feedback on that.
Awesome. And do you have anything to add on that, Bernie?
Pretty much, I think one of the other things for the listeners out there, we chose the hex grid on the board, and we chose to streamline a lot of rules from a miniatures games because we actually wanted to bring in some of the maybe medium to heavy complexity board gamers who've never played a miniatures game before. And we've been designing every single rule based on that. It's like, hey, do we need this rule? If not, if it's just adding like more measurement or more like arguments, then let's get rid of it. So we're trying to streamline it down to the core and then use kind of the different combinations of these third-party enemy, the different factions you could do. Within each faction, you could have a different combination of 4 people, the different scenarios and the different random events that happen. Those combined together give the complexity, not like I have a different stat for shooting versus melee versus when I'm moving and shooting and all that, which a lot of the skirmish games do have, and it does kind of push away a lot of the people.
Okay, yeah, going along with that, I haven't seen the Unfiltered Gamer play too many skirmish games on his channel, but it looks like he did a review on it as well. What did he have to say?
His final comment was basically, if you like this kind of game, you're gonna love this one.
Cool, awesome. So he liked it. He's smiling in the first of the video at least, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we actually were able to show him at one of the conventions. So he just picked it up really fast. He's like, normally I don't play these kind of games, but I think it's streamlined enough. It is still going to be very tactical, but he's like, hey, he enjoyed it.
Well, that's always good, so that's awesome. Now, we don't want to keep you all night, so mind us coming there to your hometown to stalk you guys. How would people go about keeping up with you guys and what you have going on over there with Omicron Protocol?
We are pretty much on most of the social networks, so Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find us at Omicron Protocol, one word. And then obviously we're on Kickstarter, which it'll be on your link. And the giveaway. We are on YouTube as Dead Alive Games. That's the name of our company. And I think we will have a Discord channel very soon.
Yes. As soon as I have time to set it up.
There you go, awesome. And somebody's listening later down on the road after the Kickstarter's done and everything. Can you share any secrets about stuff you might be working on later on for after this?
So definitely we'll continue to be working on kind of new faction ideas. The 4 factions that are revealed on the Kickstarter are just the beginning. Obviously, we're just going to time it out as we come up with ideas. The story right now for the game is what we call Season 1. We kind of have a kind of very rough, high-level trilogy arc in terms of how we want this world to evolve. So that's going to come in the many years in the future, hopefully after we are successful. And then finally, the world is so rich that I think one game, especially just a skirmish game, I don't believe will do it justice. So we're going to explore kind of different types of game, whether it's co-op or card games or things like that, or even an RPG, since we actually are playing an RPG to explore the game with our friends right now and then to write the stories out.
Okay, so it sounds like it's not just a one and done, so that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. We plan on supporting this for many, many years, as long as people like it.
Yep. Even if it's just limited to the skirmish game, like we definitely have more factions that we want to put forth and bringing to the world for sure.
Awesome. So even if a skirmish game isn't necessarily your type of game, definitely head on over to the Kickstarter, check it out, and if you like what you see or what you've heard, go ahead and show some support back the game. And if you don't have any money, it sounds like there's some social stretch goals you can help out on as well. Anything helps. And plus enter our giveaway that we're doing with them. So you can go ahead and do that as well, and let's help make Omicron Protocol become a reality.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to keep you all night, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf to talk all about Omicron Protocol with us tonight.
Yeah, and thanks for inviting us. This has been awesome, and yeah, we hope to talk to you more.
Yeah, most definitely. Appreciate it. Wow, I so want Omicron Protocol. Which faction would you like? I really enjoy the animals, but don't take my word for it. Pick a faction and comment below on either our show notes on the webpage, gamerleafgo.com, or our podcast Facebook page, Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf. Let us know what your favorite faction is and why. And don't forget to check out the giveaway we're doing with them. 3 winners. So go check that out, and let's go see what we have on today's Kickstarter Corner. Come with me as we take a walk, not to the corner store, but to Kickstarter Corner.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leaves computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leaves.
He stood squinting in the noonday sun, the braggart youth in front of him with something to prove. Hey, old-timer, how long has your pine box queen measured up for? Came the shrill voice from down the road, the ineffective taunt barely covering the shake in the kid's voice. Longer than you've been breathing, child, came his gruff reply. Jones noticed the kid twitch and reached for his rusty shooting iron. Did that sound familiar to you? Don't worry, we're here so it will. It's part of the story of Six Gun Showdown. Six Gun Showdown is a quick 5 to 10 minute game where players are characters in a Wild West shootout. The game combines strategy, memory, and a dexterity element, like a quick draw that serves to generate tension and guides the players to read their opponent's actions, really immersing them into the feeling of being in a shootout. Designed as a small box game that is as quick to learn as it is to play, Six Gun Showdown can be enjoyed as part of a board game night, either as a quick game between other games or run as a small tournament of linked games. Players can choose one of 6 characters that each have their own deck of cards and unique dice that require different strategies to be successful. This gives Six Gun Showdown layers of tactical depth that will have you playing the game again and again. Go back the quick draw card game for those with nerves of steel. Six Gun Showdown before Friday the 5th of July, and make sure you're subscribed to Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf so you don't miss my sit down with the mastermind of this game when we have our showdown episode. I'm a huge fan of Scooby-Doo, so this game greatly reminds me of such. As you might know, escape rooms are all the rage, but someone is taking it to the next level. During a quiet stroll through the park one peaceful evening, you're attacked from behind and knocked unconscious. You wake up blindfolded. You remove the strip of cloth from your eyes and find yourself in the middle of a forest. Directly in front of you, under the moonlight, stands a weathered, hand-painted wooden sign that reads, Camp Hackaway. Next to you is a flashlight with a note attached. Welcome to Body Count. Terror at Camp Hackaway board game, which is a horror-themed board game for 2 to 4 players. Try to be the first to escape Camp Hackaway. It includes a Kickstarter exclusive expansion pack. Body Count Terror at Camp Hackaway is the first chapter in the Body Count series of horror-themed board games from Game Master J. In this chapter, you've been kidnapped and wake up in the outskirts of Camp Hackaway and must survive the night while searching for the one item that will allow you to escape. Meanwhile, crazed serial killer Hackin' Hank stalks the campground, eliminating players one by one. Will you survive? Find out by backing Body Count Terror at Camp Hackaway board game before Thursday, the 4th of July. Thanks to another one of our Great Kickstarter backers, we've got another game to add to your arsenal for Kickstarter Corner this week. Bellum of Mutants and Men. One box, countless strategies, battle it out in a tactical 2-player card game where hand management and positioning are key. Behold the world of Bellum, with 2 known factions, Gabalos Colonies and Sapien Kingdom. Which will you side? Will you be allied with the Gobalis Colonies as they conquer new territory to make room for the ever-multiplying brood? Perhaps you will take up arms with the Sapien Kingdom and assist the last of mankind as they struggle for survival. You may even embrace a devious alliance of both factions to complete your barracks, if you're brave enough. Battle it out and become a master tactician in the world of Bellum. Back Bellum of Mutants and Men on Kickstarter before Wednesday the 3rd of July. Tell them GamerLeaf sent you. I'm a big fan of retro Nintendo games. I was quite glad to hear that one of our proud Kickstarter backers, Vespius Media, just launched Monstrosity Rampage, which gives me the feel of none other than the video game Rampage that I loved back in the day. Unlike the board game formerly known as Rampage, Monstrosity Rampage is a real-time co-op speed dice smash the city game that elevates your adrenaline levels to the maximum. It's even got an awesome narrative fight the evil genius Dr. Spotnik with your monster squad in this epic city-smashing game. Even though here in the Leaf household we prefer competitive games, I'm going to back it now, and you should too. If you had to add a classification to my video game tendencies, you could say I'm more of a retro kind of guy. Or just old, as the family likes to call me. So, my favorite gaming system of all time is the original Nintendo Entertainment System. I also love me some Tetris 99. I've been playing a lot of that on the Switch. They recently had an event in which if you scored 100 points, you get Tetris in the theme of Game Boy. Game Boy Tetris. Wow. I got it and am loving it. So, when I saw a Dungeon Royale board game, I was quite pleased. Reason being, the box is in the shape of, you guessed it, a Game Boy from back in the day. I've got to have it. I'm not the only one who feels that way either. It reached its funding goal in a measly 2 hours and 1 minute. They were going for $8,000 and are sitting at just over $46,000 at the time of this recording. Dungeon Royale board game is a video game turned board game. First game cartridge of the series to come. Full of death, stealing, heroes, and dragons. It's like a video game, but it's not. This is an all-out battle royale to see who will win the victor's spoils and exit with the Stone of Life. And you can tell your mom it's not a video game, but it kind of is. You move through the dungeon at the same time you attack each other with magical, powerful, or crude weapons. You try to level up before your opponents, and you even die and then respawn like a video game. You will steal artifacts and treasures from each other, and of course at times you'll run away from the destructive dragon. And did I tell you, the box it comes in is awesome sauce? Well, it is. Intrigued? I thought you might be. Run on over right now and check out their Kickstarter campaign and back Dungeon Royale board game before Thursday the 20th of June. Plus, if I can align my cards right, I'm hoping to be able to get them on the show so we can find out more. So make sure you're subscribed to Getting Geeky with GamerLeaf on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. Have you been preparing for the zombie apocalypse? You might be just about ready for it, but are you ready for the final minutes of said apocalypse? I didn't think so. Then you're going to need this new game, Final Minutes, the Zombie Apocalypse, which is a board game that puts your survival instincts to the test. If you like gaming and you like a challenge where skill and chance are both involved, then you will like this game. If you are also one of those select few who doesn't want to be eaten by the zombies, then Final Minutes, the zombie apocalypse, is definitely for you. Don't be like those people in the Midwest when a storm is scheduled to come to town that are scouring the grocery store for everything they need to get through the storm, because when the zombies come, the weather guy isn't going to be forecasting such things. So head on over to Kickstarter and back Final Minutes, the zombie apocalypse today, because I really don't want them to eat your brains.
If I were a zombie, I'd never eat your brain. I just want your heart, yeah, I don't want your heart, I just want your heart, yeah. Oh, if I were a zombie, I'd never eat your brain. I just want your heart, yeah, I don't want your heart, I just want your heart, 'cause I want you.
Or I guess in that instance, we could save your heart. Either way, don't miss out and back Final Minutes, the zombie apocalypse today. I'm going to have John the creator on the show, so make sure you tune in or come back and listen to my Final Minutes episode to save your brain or heart, as Stephanie Maybe so eloquently puts it in that rendition of the zombie song. The Qualic Report. Time is running out. The constant centuries of war and pollution have taken their toll on our home of Anthobre. Your people are counting on you to save them. Gather the resources you need, build your ship, and escape before it's too late. Only one civilization will survive, and the clock is ticking. Did that sound familiar, you guys? It didn't to me either, but this is the story of Last Days of Anthobre Apocalypse. It's a strategy resource gathering game where the planet falls to pieces beneath your feet, and the first to build a ship and escape wins. Had some tech issues with them, in which we're working to resolve, so you can enjoy my interview with the creators. It takes what we love from No Escape the game and adds some more depth to it, in my opinion. Last Days of Anthobre brings together a myriad of familiar mechanics that collate into an exciting and unique gaming experience. With a modular board and 5 different civilizations to pick from, no game is ever the same. The game starts with a slow burn to help prepare your civilization for the perils ahead. Throughout the game, tiles are flipped and removed as Anthobre literally crumbles beneath your feet. Every 5 rounds, the danger increases as the world falls apart faster and faster, and the odds of tragedy befalling your scouts grows ever more likely. For 2 to 5 players ages 12 and up, 30 to 45 minutes per player. Be on the lookout over at thegiveawaygeek.com, as well as these show notes once it's up, for a giveaway they're running with us, and back the game Last Days of Anthobre Apocalypse before the 29th of June, so you can be the first one off the planet of Anthobre once the apocalypse is going on. Did you catch my interview with Otherworld Games back on the 10th of May? You didn't? Well, go back and give it a listen. I'm excited about this game. Plus, there's a giveaway going on for it as well. It's easily accessed by clicking on over to GameReliefGo.com and searching for the episode entitled You've Shard Things, but Have You Ever Shard Slingers? It really sounds and looks like my kind of game. Go listen. We'll wait for you. What'd you think? Me too. Gotta love games like that. Shard Slingers is a push your luck card game and dice game where players match elemental dice to spells for their points and abilities. A push your luck dice and card game where players must master the 8 elements to emerge as the most skilled shard slinger. With 80 spells to choose from, it's a race to the finish, but the faster you cast, the more of a target you become for your opponents. Every roll decides the very magic that fills the battlefield, and every spell that's cast leaves residual energy that could be turned against you. Make sure you enter their giveaway straight on the episode show notes of our sit down or over at thegiveawaygeek.com. Then make sure you check out their game on Kickstarter and back it before Tuesday, the 11th of June. If you liked any of the games we talked about in today's episode, make sure you check out their Kickstarter campaigns to show them and us a little love. Backing them goes a long way. Plus, make sure to stay up to date on all the giveaways we're doing over at thegiveawaygeek.com. There will be at least 2 to 3 new giveaways going live over there next week. It's our least favorite time as well as yours. So until next episode, make sure you go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others in the geek fold by sharing our episodes with others, as well as keeping up with the giveaways we're doing over at thegiveawaygeek.com. Gamer Leaf out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.